Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens, this is Newswatch.
The snow didn't fall this fast today, but it felt like it did. And it's still coming down. You're now looking at a time lapse of the snowfall from earlier today on Ohio University's campus. Several counties throughout southern Ohio are now under a level 1 and 2 snow emergencies. Good evening, I'm Katie Anderson. Thanks for joining us. Snow has been falling across the region since early this afternoon, and it doesn't look like it'll be stopping anytime soon. Let's take it over to WOUB forecaster Ann Campolongo, who joins us live outside of our studio. And what kind of conditions are we seeing out there?
Well, Katie, if you've been longing for snow, it is finally here. We've seen the snow showers start earlier this morning, and they stuck around through the afternoon. We saw even some more moderate snow showers this afternoon. The snow is going to continue through the evening and overnight hours. Right here in Athens, we've picked up about 2 inches of snow, and if I step off here, you can see snow is continuing to fall. Athens County is under a level 2 snow emergency. Visibility is down to 3/4 of a mile, and the snow is going to continue to fall throughout the evening hours. So if you do have anywhere to drive tonight, definitely use caution and take your time. We've seen a few cars out on the roads down here, and they're taking their time as they slowly creep down the roads. They are slushy out there, so be careful if you're headed out. Take your time. Again, if we do see totals from this snowstorms, it should be around 2 to 6 inches or so. This would be the most snow we've seen so far just this winter season. We had a mild December, so to see this snow, it's a bit of a change for January, but definitely more winter-like. For all the latest weather updates, follow WOUB on Twitter and Facebook. Reporting live, I'm Ann Campolongo. Back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Ann. As we mentioned earlier, we're still under a winter storm warning at this time. Allison Gens is in the Newswatch Weather Center tracking this storm for us. Allison.
Well, thanks, Katie. Now we are under a winter storm warning right now here in Athens and much of our region in the south. We also do have a winter storm advisory in effect for some of our northern counties. Now, this advisory, for people under the advisory, they could see 1 to 4 inches of snow as the system works its way through, and with the warning, you'll see 6 to 9 inches possible in some of our counties, and those are both in effect until 7 p.m. tomorrow. Now here's a look at our snow warnings. We have a level 1 for Hocking, Morgan, and Ross counties, level 2 for Athens and Scioto, and level 3 for Vinton. And so especially for those level 2 and level 3 warnings, it's very, very dangerous to be out on the roads. So use caution if you do have to go out, and make sure it's only for an emergency. And temperatures around the region, see that they're in the mid-20s, and that's as that snow continues to fall out there. But that is what your main concern is. So I'll have a little bit more on how long that snow is going to stick around in my extended forecast coming up later in the show.
Thanks, Allison. And as we mentioned, we will be continuing to track this storm as it continues. Stay tuned throughout the broadcast for more weather alerts. And southern Ohio is not the only one getting hit with snow. This morning, West Virginia's governor declared a state of emergency. Parts of West Virginia could be under 2 feet or more of snow by the end of the weekend. This could break some snowfall records. Marshall University and West Virginia University canceled classes today due to the storm. And with more winter weather on the way for this weekend, state officials are urging you to be prepared in case of a power outage. Authorities suggest having an emergency kit that includes a flashlight, a battery-operated radio, food, water, and other items. Backup supplies of medications and spare batteries for medical equipment and assistive devices are also suggested. If you have any elderly neighbors, please be sure to check on them and make sure they are safe. The state fire marshal is also reminding people to take safety precautions when using space heaters and generators. A historic building's future has been decided here in Athens, but not without any controversy. The Ohio University Board of Trustees approved the demolition of the President Street Academic Center, but Athens City Council was not happy with the decision. Council passed a resolution asking to postpone the demolition. Well, City Council President Chris Nisley says on behalf of all the members, quote, they are deeply disappointed.
This seemed like another way in which the university and the city could work together. Now, granted, it's an OU building, and we realize that, but since it is so close to that historic district that we're trying to preserve. We were hopeful that there might be some interest in that.
Construction on the building is scheduled to start in May. Jobs in Ohio is increasing, and so is the unemployment rate. The state's unemployment rate was up 0.2% in December compared to November. The number of unemployed workers was 269,000. That's up 14,000 from the previous month. One spokesman says the unemployment rate increased because Ohio's labor force grew. And a University of Virginia college student from Cincinnati has been detained in North Korea after being accused of a, quote, hostile act against the government. Otto Frederick Warmbier was detained on January 2nd. Warmbier entered North Korea on a tourist visa and was traveling with Young Pioneers Tours. The tour group said it's working with the U.S. State Department and the North Korean Ministry of Foreign Affairs to address the arrest. Warmbier is a student at the University of Virginia. And coming up, the snow didn't stop thousands of people from protesting in Washington, D.C. today. WOUB's correspondent Erica King has the story after the break. Plus, one Oklahoma City police officer is facing life behind bars. We'll tell you why when Newswatch returns. Stay with us.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
The winter cold and snow didn't stop the annual March for Life rally in Washington, D.C. today. WOUB's correspondent Erica King was at the event and has more.
Anti-abortion activists from all over the country held hands to pray and rally Thursday morning to prepare for the annual March for Life in Washington on Friday. They gathered in front of a new Planned Parenthood clinic and office that's under construction. Priests for Life Youth Outreach Director Brian Kemper traveled from Troy, Ohio to stand with the activists.
It doesn't matter how cold it is, how much snow falls, or any of that stuff. The fact is, as long as children are going to be killed in this building, I will be here to stand up against it.
Other protesters like Myra Myers were there for different reasons.
There isn't anything that wounds you more than being responsible for the death of your own child.
Thursday was only the beginning for the protesters.
Despite the cold temperatures and the incoming snowfall we're expecting this evening, thousands of anti-abortion protesters have showed up to show their support for March for Life rally.
The protesters began rallying Friday at 11 a.m. and marched from the White House to the Supreme Court. The protesters made it clear they would like the government to defund all Planned Parenthood clinics. They had backup support from people like presidential candidate Carly Fiorina, who told the crowd she'd defund all Planned Parenthood clinics if she was elected.
I believe that this is the generation that will abolish abortion. I think it's going to slowly, we're going to do it, but I do believe this is the generation that's going to abolish abortion.
Reporting in Washington, D.C. for WOUB News, I'm Erica King.
Pilot you've never seen.
Thanks, Erica. The House passed a bill late last year to defund Planned Parenthood in Ohio, but it hasn't passed throughout the country. And a former Oklahoma City police officer will spend the rest of his life in prison after being convicted of sex crimes. A judge sentenced him to 263 consecutive years behind bars. Leslie Rangel reports. Please excuse us as we are experiencing technical difficulties right now. Pope Francis seemed to be working more to become tech savvy. He had a private meeting Friday with Apple CEO Tim Cook in Rome. That's according to a tweet of the Pontiff's daily schedule. No word on what they talked about, but afterwards the Pope reportedly called modern forms of communication, quote, a gift from God. The Pope sat down with former Google CEO Eric Schmidt just last week. And on Wall Street today, stocks did something we haven't seen at all this year. They finished with a gain. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. Has been falling here all day. It's just starting in our nation's capital. More on Washington, D.C.'s shutdown ahead of a blizzard. Next.
And warnings are in effect as the snow continues to fall. I'll let you know how long that will last coming up next on Newswatch.
What's happening, Hardwood Nation? I'm your host, Sean Neidig. We have some huge conference matchups coming up this week, including the Vinton County Vikings taking on the Meigs Marauders on Tuesday. We'll have recaps of all of those games on our social media and also our website, woub.org/heroes. And then you can tune into our show Sunday night at 11 and then rewatch the episode Monday at 6 if you miss it. So until Sunday, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
This winter storm has as many as 85 million people in its path. The nation's capital is the crosshairs and the first flakes have begun to fall. Chris Welch has the details from Washington.
This is a bad storm. Parts of the East Coast could see more than 2 feet of snow before Sunday, while other areas will see severe icing, putting drivers in danger. States of emergency have been declared up and down the East Coast, with people preparing for the worst.
It has life and death implications, and all the residents of the District of Columbia should treat it that way.
A blizzard warning affects some 30 million people from Baltimore to Philadelphia to New York. The city's mayor says New Yorkers need to stay home.
Any unnecessary driving should be avoided. Unless it is urgent, stay off the roads. It's as simple as that.
Snow has already started to accumulate on roads. North Carolina has seen several fatal accidents due to the snow and ice.
So we're asking everyone to please be very careful, stay off the roads if you don't need to be on the roads, and spend some time with your family.
Meanwhile, long lines are forming at airports as travelers struggle to get ahead of the storm. At least 5,000 flights have been canceled, including all Saturday flights at some airports.
And of course, that snow is also holding up travel around our region as well. So with those watches and warnings that we have in effect, you can see that we have a winter storm watch in effect for Athens, Vinton, Meigs, Hocking, and as well as most of our southern regions as that storm works its way through. And then there's a winter weather advisory in effect for the northern part of our region. Those both are expected to end on Saturday at 7 p.m. Now, looking at our precast for our current radar, you can see that there is that storm working its way through. You can see in our region that snow and those showers, snow showers moving through and affecting. Many states are now in a state of emergency because of this winter storm. Now, right now in Athens, it's 23 degrees and we have the snow showers outside, winds northeast at 8 miles per hour. Our dew point is 23 and our winds are, around the region, temperatures are in the mid-20s. We have 23 in Marietta, 22 in Ripley, 26 in Cambridge, and 23 in New Martinsville. Our almanac today is showing those temperatures are a lot colder than normal as that storm continues to move through. 25 degrees was our high. We're normally around 40 degrees for this time of year. 14 was our low this morning. Now, our temperatures for overnight tonight are going to drop into the low 20s, 20 in New Lexington, 22 in Cambridge, 20 in New Martinsville, and we do have that 100% chance of snow across the region. You might be seeing some heavier and more accumulation as we head to the southern portions of our region overnight tonight. Now, tomorrow, it's going to not warm up very much. 26 degrees for New Lexington, 28 for Newark, 30 in Jackson, and 28 in Ironton. Now that snow will begin to work its way out as we head into the morning hours. So you'll start to see it clearing up and by the afternoon. So that is good to be looking ahead if you do have any plans for Saturday. Now I'm going to break that down for you a little bit as we move overnight. You can see that chance of snow is at 100% across the nighttime hours, 24 degrees, then dropping to 22 by 4 a.m. Now, tomorrow, you can start to see that snow where it begins to dissipate. We have at 8 a.m. have an 80% chance of snow with 22 degrees, but then that begins to drop 30% around noon, 25 degrees as your temperature, and then hitting near our high temperature at 4 p.m. with a 15% chance of snow, so that snow will decrease. Now, tonight, 23 degrees for our low, 4 to 6 inches possible with that storm as it moves through, and it might see some heavy accumulation at times. Tomorrow, 29 degrees for our high, with snow mainly before 11 a.m. Then you'll start to see mostly cloudy skies throughout the day. Now looking at your extended forecast, you see there's those snow showers in the morning on Saturday, but then by Sunday they clear up with 33 degrees, and then it begins to warm up. By Monday, 39, and then by Tuesday, there's a 40% chance of rain showers, so we're not going to be seeing any snow this week with 38 degrees, and then by the weekend and the midweek, it looks to be a lot clearer with temperatures in the low to mid 30s. Now I'm going to send it over to sports.
On the mat, live. And Ohio men's basketball takes the road this weekend. I have notes on their must-win matchup. Next on Newswatch. Stay tuned to WOUB. Here's
What's happening, TVC basketball fans? My name is Sean Neidig, the host of Hardwood Heroes. Hardwood Heroes is a weekly half-hour show that airs on WOUB at 11 Sunday night and again at 6 on Monday. We provide you with the best Southeastern Ohio high school basketball coverage in the area, both on our show and on the web. Our reporters are at over 20 games every week to recap, so there is no way you can miss us. So tune in to Hardwood Heroes on Sunday night. And until then, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.
Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back, I'm Kelsey Steele. The Cleveland Cavaliers are moving on. After beating the Los Angeles Clippers 115-102 last night, the Cavs have fired head coach David Blatt. First reported by Yahoo Sports, the Cavs are sitting in first place in the Eastern Conference this season with a record of 30-11. The firing came 1.5 seasons into Coach Blatt's tenure, in which he had gone 83-40 overall and led Cleveland to the NBA Finals last season. Brian Windhorst has reported that LeBron James was not consulted on the decision, but was informed earlier in the day. Yahoo Sports reports Cavs assistant Tyronn Lue is taking the helm with a multi-year deal. I hope everyone is staying warm out there tonight. I know Ohio wrestling sure is. The Cats are underway with Northern Illinois right now in the Convo. Abby Carnevale is on site soaking in that action. Abby, how are the Cats faring?
That's right, Kelsey. I'm in the Convocation Center tonight where Ohio Wrestling welcomed Northern Illinois and the Huskies beating them 23-10. Now, alongside me is a huge contributor to that win, Phil Wellington, wrestling the 197 weight class. So, Phil, this is the Big Mac win. You haven't had one in a while, or your team hasn't had one in a while, but you got the individual win and the team win tonight. So what's that like getting the ball rolling again and when you're off to Buffalo tomorrow?
It's definitely a huge accomplishment for us. So, I mean, we got the win tonight, and then we got Buffalo on Sunday, and then we're going to roll it into Northern Iowa and then finish out the season, our MAC season, with Old Dominion. And those duels are huge. You know, winning there, definitely a big contributor. So it's very excited to, you know, really get that ball rolling into the MAC tournament. We're really going to set some goals for ourselves, and hopefully we'll win a MAC championship at the end.
Okay, so yesterday the NCAA coaches poll came out, and 7 of your starters, are actually ranked on that list, and now that's only 30 athletes. What does that speak to the caliber of Ohio wrestling?
That sets volumes for our program. I mean, we've always set goals for us, you know, get, 5-6 guys to the NCAA tournament, and, having 7 ranked, that's 7 guys that potentially could be going to the tournament. That's huge for us. I believe in everybody on my team that we can all make it and, really contribute at the tournament too.
Okay, well, Snowstorm Jonas definitely didn't scare off the Bobcats. The meet was moved up tonight to 5 p.m. instead of 7, but they did a great job still preparing on short notice. Now, they weren't the only ones that got to change a little bit of the meet. WOUB was there. You could follow online on Twitter by searching the hashtag Ohio Wrestling again tomorrow for the Buffalo match. And you can go on woub.org.org/sports, and you can find video and online content. That's all we have from the Convocation Center. I'm Abby Carnevale. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Abby. Ohio Wrestling is back on the mat tomorrow night, this time at Buffalo. The Cats are scheduled to take the mat at 1 p.m. and will be broadcasted on ESPN3. And while Ohio Wrestling makes noise in the Convo, Ohio men's basketball rallies for a big road win in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Central Michigan is dubbed the early favorite in the Mid-American Conference. The Chippewas' notable 12-point win over Bowling Green is a key factor to look at in Saturday's matchup. Ohio fell to the Falcons by 16 last Tuesday. Ohio's last win in Mount Pleasant was on February 13th, 2013, a 19-point victory. You can check out Saturday's game live on ESPN3. Opening tip set for 4:30. Ohio women's basketball heads to DeKalb Saturday for a matchup against MAC opponent Northern Illinois. Ohio enters Husky territory on a 9-game win streak, looking for their 15th win this season. The Cats are coming off of a 39-point win over Kent State last Wednesday, and Kiana Black looks to continue her dominant performance on the hardwood as of late. Over the last 2 games, Black has boasted 55 points. Undefeated in MAC play, the Lady Bobcats look to keep the streak alive. Tip-off is set for 2 p.m. Ohio swimming and diving heads to Pittsburgh today to take on Duquesne and Xavier in a double duel set. It's the first time Ohio and Duquesne have met in 5 years. The Cats won that meeting tallying 8 first-place finishes. Now the team heads to Buffalo Saturday looking for a W over the Bulls, and Buffalo's hot as of late, coming off of a win of more than 10 first-place finishes over Niagara. The meet begins at 5 p.m. It may be a bit cold, but high school basketball is just warming up. Hardwood Heroes takes you through the best matchups this week in TVC play. They may be all canceled tonight, but you'll find Vinton County topping Megs for the top spot in the TVC Ohio, and Trimble suffering a major TVC Hawking upset this week. Be sure to tune in to Sunday at 11 p.m. on WOUB. Brace yourself. Episode 3 of Hardwood Heroes is just 2 days away. And I'm Kelsey Steele. That's it for sports. Back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Kelsey. And while frigid temperatures are causing headaches for residents all across the East Coast, one New York town has found a unique way to beat the cold. Watertown is trying to turn this parking into an outdoor ice rink. The town's usual skating spot is undergoing renovations. Workers for the city's Park and Recreations Department have been spraying down the J.B. Wise parking lot since Wednesday. When the water freezes because of the cold temperatures, the town will have a brand new rink ready for skaters. That would be perfect to have here in Athens, wouldn't it, Allison?
Well, Katie, the conditions are definitely right for a skating rink, and we do have the perfect weather to be out there on that rink. Tonight in Athens, though, it's going to be 23 degrees, perfect skating, freezing temperatures with but we'll see 4 to 6 inches of snow, so you don't want to head outside tonight with so heavy at times. Looking over the night, that chance of snow continuing through the night, and then tomorrow we'll start to see that snow let up around 11 a.m. with 29 degrees as your high. Now I'm going to send it out to Ann so she can give us one final look at what's going on outside.
If you don't have to be out tonight, stay inside. We're seeing the snow showers continue. We actually just got the latest information in from Scalia, and they've measured 3.5 inches here in Athens at 6 p.m. So that's your latest snow total right now. We could see about 6 inches by the time the snowstorm is over tomorrow morning. But take care and caution if you're headed out tonight and even into tomorrow morning, as roads will refreeze. Back to you, Katie.
Thanks, Ann. And remember, for more coverage of this winter storm, you can visit our website at woub.org. And for up-to-the-minute weather alerts, follow WOUB on these social media websites.
What's happening, Hardwood Nation? I'm your host, Sean Neidig. We have some huge conference matchups coming up this week, including the Vinton County Vikings taking on the Meigs Marauders on Tuesday. We'll have recaps of all of those games on our social media and also our website, woub.org/heroes. And then you can tune into our show Sunday night at 11 and then rewatch the episode Monday at 6 if you miss it. So until Sunday, I'm your host, Sean Neidig, reminding you to be heroic.